If you thought the killer clowns stalking you in the streets was pretty bad, wait until you hear about the stories concerning these killer clowns stalking you through your homes. That is correct. The killer clowns who are, well, intending to purge the entire globe, the entire world, on October 31st of this year. The killer clowns are also vowing that they're going to stalk you then, and they're going to stalk you now. They're going to make sure that they're going to wreak havoc. They're going to make sure that everyone's going to be uncomfortable. And the killer clowns are hell-bent that they're going to make you completely frightened. Right now, the Gaming Weekly in the past 24 hours, by the way, has been surfing online for many different stories, and we got the chance to compile a bunch of different stories, a plethora of different stories concerning how these killer clowns have been stalking some civilians out there through their homes. TGW is going to go ahead and show you these stories right now. I mean, the more we dig in, the scarier, the more frightening, the more disturbing and unsettling it really gets. As mentioned, in the past 24 hours, the Gaming Weekly has been digging up some stories to talk about, and the more that we actually dug, the more we really found. And as mentioned, right now we're going to go ahead and talk about these stories that we found online. I'm going to go ahead and read to you word for word what these stories talked about. In this first one, the post says here, and I quote, "This was 2 days ago, September 5th. I was finally released from school when I got the chance to talk and hang out with my friends for a little bit. I had a ton of homework, so I told my friends I needed to go. Sadly, I told them I'd see them tomorrow and I was off. The cool part is, there's this shortcut I take every time to get to my house faster." That's pretty cool. "The problem was, the shortcut I take is literally next to this creepy forest along the pathway." Well, that's not cool. "Normally, I didn't think much of it, not until what happened recently. I can never see that forest the same ever again. When I was walking down the shortcut, I heard some leaves and trees rattling. I just assumed nothing much of it and kept walking. It wasn't until I felt a very weird presence, as if someone was watching me. You know that feeling you have when you feel that someone is watching you? I had that same exact feeling. I kept walking and walking, and all of a sudden, in the corner of my eye, I hear someone shout, 'Hey, kid, can you help me? I'm lost here.' I turned around and I see this very creepy clown standing there staring at me, just looking straight through me. He had a clown mask, and I can see the bright red nose from the point that I was standing. I was about 20 feet away, give or take. He literally stared at me for about 10 seconds, and I just stood there, frozen in time." Man, this is really, really creepy. "It's weird because for it being just around 10 seconds, it felt like an eternity. After that little unusual stare, I told him, 'My parents are waiting for me. I gotta go.' Although that was a lie, my parents were both at work." That was pretty smart. "So I turned around and began to speed walk. About 30 seconds later, I turned around and saw no clown in sight." Well, that just makes it even more creepy. "But I still felt the strange presence, as if someone was watching me. My heart was beating so fast, I was scared. I started calming down as soon as I saw my house in the distance. Finally, I was able to reach home, and I went inside and locked the door. I looked out of my window just to see if there was any man dressed in a clown outfit, and thankfully, there were no signs of that. Hours later, while doing my homework, I heard something. It sounded like some thud that came downstairs. I didn't really care much until I heard that thud again for the second time. The third time, I stood up and I got out of my chair and went out in the hallway to hear it again. I kept hearing this weird thud over and over and wondered where it was coming from. I followed the sound and it led me to downstairs, and midway down the stairs, I literally froze again. My heart started pounding because right behind that door was the same killer clown from the forest. He kept pounding the door and asking to open the door. I was too scared to even move or speak. I would have too. I mean, this is insane. He then stopped and looked at me before him finally leaving. I called my mom after that incident, and she said that she'll be coming home as soon as possible. It was the longest wait of my life. When she arrived home, I told her what happened, and she called the police and reported the incident. The police said they'd be searching the area in the neighborhood, but never found a man dressed in a clown outfit. Because of this, I'm never going to take that shortcut near the forest ever again. I wouldn't either. I mean, this is probably one of the creepiest stories I've read. And again, we found this online. We've dug through Reddit, Instagram, and so forth. And there's a lot of stories that everyone can actually find online. Again, what do I think about this? I think this is crazy. I think this is insane. I think there's a lot of weird people out in this world. And the fact that these killer clowns are really true to their word, they're going to make sure that they're going to be stalking people. And the fact that he followed this youngster to his own home, that's what makes it so disturbing. Here's the second story that we found. Quote, "This is a true story, and I hope people understand how serious this was. I was sleeping over with 3 of my friends over the weekend, and we were having a good time. You know, the usual stuff. We were playing games, ordered some pizza, and just hung out. It was time to go to bed. That's when things got creepy. At around 2 a.m., something hit the window. It woke me and my friend Justin up. Devin was the only one that didn't wake up from that. Me and Justin looked at each other and said, 'What was that?' We heard something hit the window again, and we stood up. Once we stood up, we looked outside, and it was a clown that was throwing pieces of sticks at the window. We were so creeped out and thought it was a prank, though, but we noticed that he had a knife that was popping out of his pocket. He started waving at us, and it really got concerning now. We woke Devin up so he can see what was happening outside, and he literally freaked when he first saw the clown. That's when we got Justin's parents and told them that there was some guy in a clown costume that had a knife outside waving at us. Both Justin's dad and mom came to the room and looked outside, but by then the clown was gone. Justin's parents insisted that it was probably some prank or maybe just something else, but we told them exactly what we saw. A clown with his knife in his pocket, waving right at us. That night, it was really hard for us to go to sleep again. That was a moment we'd never forget in our lives. How traumatizing is this? You know, imagine trying to enjoy your time or at least going to sleep at a friend's house, and all of a sudden you're woken up by a strange noise. You get up and then you look out the window, you see a killer clown waving at you with a knife out of its pocket? This is getting insane. And you know, again, there's few people out there who are saying that this is a hoax, that this is fake, that this is something that we're doing for views, but we really cannot stress this enough that this is all true. I mean, there's a lot of reports online that you can actually dig and find, and you can contact the killer clowns yourselves. They will tell you themselves that this is indeed going to happen on the 31st of October, which is why I'm saying it's imperative for everyone to group up together and work together. And even if this is virtual, the videos that you see online, you can still help. You can still share these videos online all over social media. Plaster this video, this link, all over social media. That way people are more aware of this, and that way people are going to be absolutely prepared before the 31st of October. Let's go ahead and move on to the final story here. And I quote, "Probably one of the scariest incidents ever. Me and my friends were chilling and hanging out in the backyard. It was a long day after school, so we were just hanging out, talking about whatever. It wasn't until we saw up above in the distance in the fields a clown just staring at us. It was weird. He wasn't moving or saying anything. He was just staring at us, and we got creeped out. I would have too. One of my friends shouted, 'Hey, do you need something?' But he just stayed still. We were getting a bit uncomfortable of a person in a clown mask just staring at us. We just stood there thinking it was all some sort of joke until all of a sudden he starts running towards us. We noticed how fast he was going, and we all went inside the house as quickly as possible. When we reached inside, the clown walked right up to the porch. He was staring at us and tried to break in. He was using all his force to break the door down. My friend got some bats from his basement, and we were ready to fight back if anything. The killer clown stopped and realized we were armed. He slowly stepped back and was walking backwards slowly. He turned around and walked in the fields. Eventually, he disappeared in the distance. We never saw that clown man ever again." So there are so many different stories we found, not just these 3, but if you keep digging online, there's so many different people who are sharing their experiences of what they have seen in the past couple of days and really in the past couple of weeks. And I can guarantee you there's going to be so many more stories over the next couple of weeks. This is going to be probably one of the most disturbing times in the history of our lifetime. I mean, people who think it's funny, people who think that it's a joke to, I guess, put on clown masks and to actually scare people. But then again, there are sick people, sick, demented people who are really looking to purge. These killer clowns, this movement, this network, all over the globe, they're all wanting to do one thing, and that is to purge the entire world. That is their message, and they are going to make sure that they're not going to stop until they accomplish that goal, to reach to a global point that they're the ones in charge. So I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video, again, I can't stress this enough. I can say this a billion more times. I'm going to say it as many times as I can, but it's going to be up to you guys to really fulfill this. You guys have to share this information. Share it with your teachers, your friends, your family members, whatever the case may be. Share it online and share it with people who you don't even know online on Instagram or Twitter or something, because this is getting out of hand now. People are really, I mean, this is something that I actually expected not to even hear about, but we found this online, all these different stories on a different Reddit posts and all the different Instagram posts that people have been posting online. And killer clowns are going to make sure they're going to scare the living daylights out of you, and they might even harm you. They are armed, as we saw in that story, as we heard in that story, the killer clown had a knife out of his pocket. So, I mean, again, I can't stress this enough. Just make sure to share, folks. We are going to upload a lot more videos concerning the killer clown movement, including how to survive a killer clown purge that is happening on the 31st of October. I think that's going to be very critical and crucial for everyone to listen to. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to subscribe for more information. We're going to monitor this situation as we get closer and closer to the 31st of October. We will see exactly what happens. Stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.